everybody. This is Alicia Joy and Ann Wright, and we are coming to you with another episode of Chaise Chat. We are so happy that you guys could join us again today. So we have a new topic on the table, and so our topic today is going to be about breaking traditions and adapting in your environment. And let me just back up a little bit. A little bit of what Chaise Chat is all about is, just getting a chance to kind of sit down with your sisters and have conversations that sometimes we don't normally get a chance to have. Talk about some things that maybe before weren't really talked about, or some things that are more pressing, given that we're going through this pandemic, and we really want to touch on some topics because we want to empower more women to feel like they can break out of their old selves and really get to the level that they want to get to. So we're so happy again that you guys could join us, and we would love to hear your feedback. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Super important, like and subscribe. And we're just so happy to have you here with us. So we're going to get started with episode 2 of Chaise Chat, topic being breaking traditions and adapting in your new environment. Hi, Ann.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is so much fun. I love it. I love talking to the girls and having our little cookout time. And now we're on the Chaise Lounge, just relaxing with a little wine, but not today because it's so early in the morning.
Right. A little early right now, but we'll get there.
Right.
Awesome. So this topic came to me whenever I was actually thinking about, so yesterday we celebrated my daughter's birthday. She turned 12 years old, and we had to do things a little bit differently this year because obviously everybody's in quarantine. You can't have family gatherings. We're here in Pennsylvania, whereas some of her other family is in New York. So trying to pull everybody together just would have been a mess. So I decided to focus this year on, instead of stuff, buying her a bunch of gifts and stuff, which I did get her a few gifts, but I really wanted to focus on her mindset, because I think it's such an important age with her going through trying to homeschool, doing online learning. And these things can be very challenging for children right now. So I said, let me focus on building what's within her. And I noticed that she really has been wanting to start her own cosmetics line. She's at that age where she's dipping in all my makeup, y'all. She's dipping in all my makeup. Okay, I'm finding these little fingerprints and lipsticks half open and smudged, and I'm like, oh my Lord. So it's something that she's passionate about right now. So I said, you know what, we're going to put a little fuel on that fire and see what we can do with that. So I've invested in getting her supplies, and then we're looking at, she already has her name for her business. We're going to work on a logo. We're going to work on incorporating her business and really getting it up and running so she can start to learn how important it is to start generating income and revenue for herself, so that ultimately when she's my age, she doesn't have to work for someone else. She can have her own business and be an entrepreneur. So that's kind of what sparked this topic for me. So what are your thoughts, Ann?
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny because that is a great topic, and it's a great way to motivate the youth into thinking for themselves and thinking out the box, because problem solving and comprehensive learning is not the same as it was when we were growing up. And I hate that phrase, when we were growing up, because it starts to date and age you.
Right.
Because with every generation, things are different, And with that being said, is that you want to start thinking outside the box and other ways to do things. Quarantine has made us do a quantum leap into the future on how we're doing things now. And even this conversation where we would try to pull everybody together, because I'm all about the physical. So I would always be trying to do a workshop or a seminar or a retreat where we're all pulling together in one spot. But we have to now learn how to do this differently, where we're now doing it virtually and still get that warm and fuzzy feeling as if we were together.
Right.
To do the hugs and the cries together, and the ugly cries and those cute cries, and how to fix the makeup and how to not to get the mascara to run stuff. Like, we're now doing this virtually. So thinking outside the box, figuring out ways to do things and making it happen no matter what. And that's the biggest thing. And from our last conversation, it was about making bad choices and making choices from the heart rather than things that would actually help you move forward, but more
Right.
expensive. Well, this is the same thing. When you have a situation where you're now like, I want to start a business, but you're stuck at home and your business is about people purchasing products, or you have to get in their face, or you have to do presentations. Okay, that's fine. You can still do that,
Right.
because with all the delivery systems, this is not like back in 2000, not 2000, I'm sorry, like 20, like, what is it, 1820 or something like that,
Right.
where there was
Right.
no delivery system, there was no internet, there was
Right.
no
We're waiting
technology.
for horse and buggy.
Right, exactly. Okay. So these times are different. We're almost at the Jetsons stage of life where everything's
Right.
available. I just
Right.
had that mask that what's the name? The Mrs. Jetson used to wear when she had a meeting and she wasn't ready for it. But okay, well, I digress. So so it's just coming out, finding a different way to do things. And
Right.
starting a business doesn't always mean you have to have all the money and all the parts and all the everything in place. The chessboard doesn't need to be completely set up. You just have to have pieces on it. So
Right.
just start anything. And it
Right.
doesn't have to be where, oh, I don't have enough money. And I'm going to give you a little backstory on me. I had a aroma. I used to call it aroma party, and it was a company that I started where I made bath products, and it was very
Mm.
good, and it was doing very well. And I got all the way to the point where I was just like a locomotive, and I was just going for it, going for it, going for it, and then boom, what one last thing to get it distributed out into onto shelves was
Mm-hmm.
$10,000.
Mm.
I was $10,000 short, couldn't get a loan, couldn't get anything, begged and scraped together family,
Mm-hmm.
friends to help out. Nobody would help out. And it was $10,000. That
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 could have been $10 million.
Right.
But here's the
Right.
crazy thing about that. And I know everybody's like, yeah, $10,000. Oh my God, that's too much. No, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. Because when I stopped and started thinking, which I should have never done, I should have kept going.
Mm-hmm.
I calculated how much I had already spent. I had already spent $50,000.
Right.
So to spend $50,000 and then be stuck with 10,
And
just
yeah.
10, when you look at the pros and cons of that, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you let $10,000 stop you.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So whether it would have took me a little bit longer to get to 10,000, but that
Mm-hmm.
fear factor on that failure and all those things started to set in, and the doubt started to kick in to the point where I don't do anything. I just gave away all my bottles. I gave away I had 10 for when I did vending. I just gave it to a guy that does herbal stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
just donated it to him because I already know that my spirit was so broken from that I can't come
Right.
from it. But that doesn't mean that I stop. You just find a new way, and you find
Mm-hmm.
what your passion is, you find out what your
Right.
dream is, and you move on that. Obviously, that wasn't my passion or dream. That was just a way to make money. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm about the dream
Mm-hmm.
to make money, and that will
Right.
come.
Right. Absolutely. That's a great point. And I think that's where a lot of people do get hung up, because once they start going around to people and asking, they start getting those no's, they become so discouraged. And it's like, okay, well, do I really want this, or am I really going to go through with this? And it's just like, you're so close. You're so close. Don't
Right,
give up just
right.
because this person says no, or like you've already invested so much. You're
Some,
literally one strike away from hitting
yeah,
that goal. So definitely stick to it. And I think, especially when it comes down to family, that's where it hurts the most. And I see that a lot, and especially in a lot of groups that we're in, people are commenting about, oh, how do you, keep pursuing your dream or your passion or your business when you're not getting any support from your family or friends? And, it's the sad reality that you got to be willing to do it by yourself if you have
yes.
to.
By
That's
yourself,
just what it is.
solo, baby,
Exactly,
solo.
exactly. You
Yeah,
gotta, if you really want it, you gotta be willing to chase the dream so hard that they have no choice in the end but to want to get on board with you. But if they see that you're fickle and you're kind of going back and forth with, well, I'm guilty of jumping from boat to boat to boat, giving in at every, time there's some type of hiccup, of course they're not going to want to support you. So you got to show commitment, a level of commitment, in order to get other people on board sometimes, and whether or not they get on board, you got to keep pushing, because chances are there's a stranger out there who doesn't know you, but they still believe in what you're trying to do, and they'll get behind you and support you. Have you seen that happen in your business?
I have, and I've seen that in the last 3 years, actually, since I hit Florida. I I have never had the support that I've had since I've gotten here. And it's funny because I still have people that will support me and they will back me and they will give me encouragement, but they still don't understand the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to realize that. I even started a nonprofit organization, not because I wanted to, it was because that was the only way to get in a door that I wanted to get into. And
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm in that door, I realize that's not the way I wanted to go. But but it picked me up, because Les Brown says, if you fall down, fall on your back, because if you can look
Right.
up, you can get up.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
exactly what happened to me. So now this quarantine has helped me get up, because I keep wanting others to be on this journey with me, and I do, because that's just the person I am. And I realize this journey is mine and mine alone. And whoever can see and it fits in their journey, they're going to cling to it and they're going to jump on board. I don't have to ask, beg, or scrape for them to do that. They will just do it. And that's the lesson I had to learn. And it took me all
Yeah.
these years of disappointment, of heartbreak, of I can't even name the number of feelings that went through with it, all of those things. And now I'm able to, like, okay, you just got to do this by yourself.
Right.
You got to stick to it. And if anybody wants to jump in, know that they're here for a season. And if they're not here after a while, it's okay. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Yes.
Don't stop.
Yes. Yes.
Woo!
Absolutely.
That feeling is so scary.
Absolutely. It
It's
is.
scary. I'm not gonna lie. People look at me, they're like, Ann don't get scared of nothing. Ann get scared. I just don't
Right.
got time to sit and show you scared. I don't have time for
Right.
that. Gotta keep
Right.
moving.
Right. Right. Yeah. See, me, I'm just like, I mean, because we have these conversations all the time. And I think I've just gotten to a point where I don't care about anything that's not what I want to do at this point. If it's not aligned with my goals right now, it gets no energy, no energy. And so I'm just so focused on building me right now that I just don't have time for the naysayers or the doubters or whatever. It's just like, Alicia, go make it happen. Go make it happen. Like, even doing this call is putting me way outside of my comfort zone, because I don't like to hear myself talk, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. And that's the thing I really had to drill into my head. Do it anyway. Do it afraid. Do it if it's ugly. Do it if you don't have it all together. Do it if, you don't have support. Do it if it's not quite ready and perfect as you want it. Just do it. Just get it done. Put something out there, because otherwise you're going to end up holding yourself back, and you're never going to be able to break through that wall that you keep building up because everything's not perfect. You
Right.
want everything to be so perfect, and you keep stopping because it's not perfect. Just do it. Like, I've seen some ugly stuff, some real not put together, so great kind of stuff, and that didn't stop people. And this is from people who are massively successful. They
Right.
don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're just going to put it together and get it out there, and they're going to perfect it as they go, and
Right.
make it better as they go, and grow through it as they go. They're not going to just wait until everything's perfect to get started, because they know
Exactly.
every business has a growth stage.
Right.
So if something's in its infancy, just like your child is not going to come out walking out of the womb. They're
Right.
going to fall. They're going to chip a tooth. They're going to fracture an arm. The hair ain't going to come in fully, and it's going to be bald in the back. And you're like, "Well, my baby," that's just what it is. But everything takes time to season
Right.
itself and go through its season. And so we have to be patient, I think, with ourselves, but also cut ourselves some slack,
Right.
and just put stuff out there, because you'll get to understand what it is you're trying to do as you're doing it.
And we shifted to a business conversation on growth, but it's also personal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the one thing that when you're doing this type of soul searching is that relationship with yourself as well,
Yes.
and letting yourself have time for you, because especially mothers, Mothers have the tendency, because women period have the nurturing, well, most women, I can't say all because I've known some women that shouldn't have kids, but anyway. So,
Oh, the shade of it all.
but still, it's that nurturing side of us that always puts everybody else first.
Right.
And um and you'll see that because we're always looking at our high school pictures or our college
Mm-hmm.
pictures, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, before kids, or like during the first couple of years of kids, and we all like, remember when I looked like that, or when I did
Right.
this, or when I did that.
Right.
And we don't realize that that doesn't have to stop just because you had
Mm-hmm.
kids or you had a family,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing how to find that family life balance.
Right.
And and I'm faulty of that, because family came 100% first,
Right.
100% first. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what I got to scrape together. I don't care what I had to do, whatever it take. I had to take care of the family. Family had to come first. The kids had to be okay. They had to get what they needed. I didn't get what they wanted. I got what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
That was the difference between me and a lot of parents, because they would get the kids what they want, and I ain't got time for the spoiling of that stuff. But I did get things that, like Christmas time, they would be, they did good. They did really well for Christmas. And I can't say I didn't do well for them. And they probably tell you a different story. But as far as a parent is, I did good. but but I get them what I needed. I gave them my time. We would be in a park all the time. We would go to movies together. I would gather my little my godson and my godkids and my nieces and nephews. I was a mom that always took all the kids and we went somewhere. So I would put family first. Now, now I realize, as like, okay, that some of that wasn't right. Because if you can't take care of you, if you're not healthy enough to do that thing that you find the most important, then how are you going to be there for them if you're no good? If you're not good mentally, you can't pass on the things that you think you're teaching them, or you think are passing on to them, because they only could go by what they see and not
Right.
what you say.
Right.
It's what you do, not what you say. So
Mm-hmm.
I was teaching them that I was not important enough to, okay, like, I don't get Mother's Day presents. I never used to get Mother's Day presents. And I was okay with that, because my
Mm-hmm.
job as a mother was to be a mother, not to be rewarded for it.
Right.
My reward is my kids.
Right.
But every once in a while, you're like, the appreciation could be there, but I didn't teach them that, because they
Right.
just saw me being that strong present,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where I didn't have that feeling that I needed that,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain other little things, but again, it wasn't them. It's not their job. It's me, because I didn't
Right.
put myself first.
Right.
So breaking those habits that we've learned through tradition after tradition after tradition, of generation after generation after generation, of
Mm-hmm.
women never putting themselves first.
Right.
And it's
Right.
okay to always be non-existent almost, except for when somebody else wants something.
Right. Right. We're only a provider or a nurturer.
Nurturer.
Right. Right.
And unfortunately, due to certain back history, not nurturers and providers,
Right.
because there's a
Right.
one parent home a lot
Right.
of the time.
Right.
Even though, like for me, I was a single mom, but
Mm-hmm.
I had my mother there. So
Right.
my kids were raised in a two parent home. It just was another generation of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a nice having that other adult in the house.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's others that don't have that,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to do it all by themselves,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So
And I think with that too, to add to what you were saying, when it comes to those role or expectations as a mother, sometimes I feel like we try so hard to do what we saw the generation before us do, or to follow what the generations before us did, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and we guilt ourselves about ending up in a different situation or in a certain circumstance, becoming a single mother or whatever the case is, and we start to guilt ourselves, and we start to feel like our only purpose is to try and make this right and make sure my kid is the best kid possible. And you lose yourself in that, I think, sometimes. So I think when we start to shift the focus back to how am I the best person that I can be, so that my child can see that, I'm doing that within me, and then they can follow that so they can be the best person. Not trying to force them into, oh, go do this, or telling them what to do all the time, or showing them what to do.
Right. And bouncing from that, so you got the business aspect of it, you got the parenting aspect of it, but also it's the partner aspect of it,
Hmm.
because it's also a back generational tradition or whatever, that you have to be in a relationship, and there's women that run out as soon as they can to get a father
Right.
or a mother in the house, and they
Yes.
feel like they need to be with someone, and so desperate that they don't go through a process before they're like,
Hmm.
well, this one said yes, so let me go ahead. And
Right.
then they
Right.
bring this abusive or negative person in the house, which then affects the children, affects
Hmm.
the rest of the household. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not saying all of them are like that, because some bring the best sunshine in the house too. And
Right.
it's the most loving, and you could not be more happy with the
Right.
person who came in the house. But it's still a process that,
Hmm.
how do you get to that sunshine if there's no process? You haven't taken the time for you to find out what you want or what you need and go through a little interview. Back in my 20s and stuff, guys used to say to me, because I'm not the type, you can't hold me down. So it's like, it was so hard. So a friend of mine used to like, Ann, can you tell me when you start taking applications and resumes, please? Because, you know, I would love it too, but it seems like I need to give you an application or a resume. And it's true. You do have to give me an application or resume.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
you're right.
Hmm.
So take applications, take resumes. And I'm not saying you're not going through it because literally, I'm saying take an account of what they're bringing to the table, what kind of
Right.
person they are, what kind of heart they have, and don't always look at the good. Find out what the other side is too. That's the giving
Hmm.
time and letting things surface that should surface, and then it's not
Hmm.
all roses all the time, because
Right.
everybody has two sides. And if
Right.
you don't find out what that other side is before you put a
Hmm.
ring on it,
Hmm.
you you're in a mess.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah.
you get what you see is what you get, and that's awesome. That is
Yeah.
so awesome. But a lot of times, and you guys, you women know this, that it's not. And no matter what relationship you're in. And I want you to comment down below too. You comment below on what is it that you're looking for or what you've seen, because this can help someone else. And I
Right.
know Alicia and I have been going on, and we touched on the business, we touched on the family aspect, and but the relationship with others is important too, and even the
Hmm.
friends you keep. Because if you're in a really, if you're in a relationship but you also have friends, your friends are important too, on what type of friends you associate yourself with,
Right.
because the type of people you bring in your home is what affects you. They leave an essence behind.
Right.
What kind of essence are you letting in your home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm a very open person. Like, I love people in my house,
Hmm.
but I also have a very sensitive side on feelings. And if I'm not
Hmm.
feeling you, you ain't coming back in my house. And you
Right.
the sage right behind you out the door.
Take the devil with you. That energy is real, though. People don't understand that energy is real. And I
Yes.
think sometimes we want so bad to be surrounded by people, to have that, interpersonal connection, not realizing that this person has the wrong type of energy for you to really heal some of the things that are within you and going on within you, and to help you to grow and get better. If they're trying to keep you attached to your past, that may not be the best person for you to continually keep around. It doesn't mean you can't stay connected with them in some level, but to try and grow outside of that circle where they're constantly dragging you back is kind of tough. So yeah, it's definitely important to pay attention to the energy that people are bringing around you.
Yes, yes. Now, ladies, I want you guys to like and share on this, and I want you to bring the conversation in too. Come in, make some comments down below, and let us know how you feel about these topics, because this is not only us. We're just beacons of
Right.
of everybody right now, and what we're all going through, and what we're all experiencing in our
Right.
lives. And our younger generation that's part of this group, or you could share this, and another generation that could be helped by this conversation, or just to spark it, because a lot of people, you know, our grandparents, our great grandparents, they all was like, if it's in the house, it stays in the house. You don't talk
Hmm.
about anything outside.
Right, right,
You don't
right,
bring nobody in your business. And that's why we have so many psychological issues. We
right.
have emotional issues. We have problems making the right choices because we never talk about it. We don't talk about it. We don't share it. And if you're sharing it with someone that all they're gonna do is, girl, that's the way it is.
Right.
No, no, it's not. It's not,
Right.
it's not the way it is. I should not be getting punched in the eye every 2 days because
Yep.
somebody else is angry. I should not be being
Girl.
insulted someone else doesn't like, they like the way I look, but because instead of saying that, you know, they like what about something about me, they insult me and make me feel have a self-esteem issue. No, that's not
Right.
good. And
Right.
the
Right.
bullies of the
Right.
world
Right.
today, you know, like, okay, if there was a high school bully, you more than likely that person had issues that instead
Hmm.
of dealing with the issues because they were told they cannot, they just took it out on somebody else. That's bullying.
Right.
That's what bullies
Right.
are. And because
Right.
they had problems that they couldn't talk about, so they took it out in a different way, right? So
Yes.
mean girls, same thing. Mean girls,
Hmm.
bullies, whatever you want to call them. But they're
Yeah.
just people that had issues that they couldn't deal with because
Right.
there was no one for them to talk to.
Right.
And if you watch
Right.
these little movies and stuff like that, what happens at the end? They get to talk about it. They get it out. They find someone that will listen, and then they're the best people in the world.
Hmm.
Or they
Hmm.
become, you know, people that, can we have some fries with that? I don't know. Yeah.
Right. And I think it was a great point that you mentioned, like, especially with millennials and Generation X and Z and Q and whoever else, the younger generation, I feel like so often they get muted because people just chalk it up as, oh, they're just a millennial, oh, they just, oh, here comes a millennial, and they get this negative connotation. But right now we need some millennials and the younger generation, because with this environment where everybody's kind of trapped inside, who are the ones that are starting to get the callbacks on the jobs that have to become virtual now?
Right.
You
Right.
know, so there's so much opportunity in ways that people can really shine and show their skills, and everybody has value. Every generation has value. We just have to stop attaching ourselves to expectations. Stop
Right.
comparing ourselves to other people's stories, other people's journeys. Just do what works for you, and let go of all of the gender roles and, you know, generational expectations, family expectations, traditional business values that we know have been out of place for so long. Like, especially as women, like, we have a very strong place, and we need to really step up in the world and start taking our place, because there's so much within us. There's so much value in each one of you, and we're just super grateful to have you guys. And we would love to hear from you, as Ann said, and get some feedback and some comments. So definitely like, subscribe, share, comments. We want to be engaging, and we want everyone to engage with us so we can really talk about some things that are important for everyone to kind of get out. If there's something that's super sensitive for you that you may not, want to put out there, but you want it to get out there, you can sisterhoodcookout@gmail.com. You can send that in to us if you have something that you want us to talk about, and we will definitely include it in our next session. So thanks so much, you guys. It's been awesome.
Yes, yes. Love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Can't wait to hear from you guys. And oh, we want to let you know that in a couple of weeks, we'll probably start this like in maybe June. We'll do some live sessions so we can get some live participants. So get ready.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Hit that subscribe button. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.